will invoke Rule 9 of the Rules of Procedure and will allow a free sitting in the House today.
On Wednesday, 6 November 2024, Parliament of Uganda passed the National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024, integrating the Uganda Coffee Development Authority into the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries.
Subject to subsection 2, this act shall come into force 3 years after publication on a date appointed by the Minister by statutory instrument. 2. The statutory instrument made under subsection 1 shall be laid in Parliament for approval. Justification to enable effective mainstreaming of the functions of the Uganda Coffee Development Authority into the ministry responsible for agriculture.
Madam Speaker, I object to the amendment.
Thank you.
Because I don't feel it helps the situation.
Attorney General.
I object. The proposal being made by the committee has not been considered. It will have a financial implication and cannot move at this stage.
We believe the committee has carried out research. We know Coffee Marketing Board was disbanded. We brought in UCDA. And we're saying that for this sector to perform better, the Ministry of Agriculture, we know it has been around. It would be better for agriculture to be running the same activity parallel to UCDA for a time being until they get time that they are ready, then we can hand it over.
The coffee sector should be dealt with a lot of caution. I have had to partake in the wisdom of somebody who has managed this industry for quite some time. And I'm associating myself with the decision that if this house is to decide to rationalize, coffee should be given a grace period to grow, at least 2 or 3 years, until the ministry is up to date to move on.
For every coffee to be exported out of the country, whether to European market, whether to Chinese market, you need a phytosanitary certificate. It's not from UCDA, it's from the Ministry of Agriculture. The ministry they say is incompetent, the ministry they say is not ready. You cannot export coffee. Honorable Nandara knows this, whether Arabica or Robusta, to any market without this certificate issued by the Department of Crop Protection of the Ministry of Agriculture. It does this for every agriculture export. So when you say get ready with what? It's been here. It was here before UCDA. I lay on the table a sample of the certificate of phytosanitary that the ministry issues for coffee, for dry chili, for vegetables, for any agricultural product, for the Parliament to understand.
UCDA is a government property. Its laboratory is for government and all being supervised by the Ministry of Agriculture. I thereby concede that we should not.
I put a question that the proposed new clause cannot stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the bill entitled the National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024 and passed with amendments. I beg to move that the bill entitled the National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024 be read the third time and do pass.
I put a question that the National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the National Coffee Amendment Act 2024.
The title is settled and the bill has been passed.
In the sitting, the Uganda National Roads Authority and the Uganda Road Fund were dissolved and their functions returned to the Ministry of Works and Transport following the repealing of the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008 and the Uganda National Roads Authority Act 2006, which created both agencies.
There has been a misconception in the country that Uganda National Roads Authority is synonymous to good roads. The truth is that the state and the NRM government injected adequate resources for the making of roads as an affirmative intervention about the time when UNRWA was coming into existence. And it has been very difficult to separate because UNRWA came now into effect in 2008 when the first 2 trillion was put into the road sector. And that's how people started seeing roads.
Thank you.
Why we have decided that it has outlived its usefulness, we want to streamline the management of the ministry. We want to reduce the administrative work of so that now resources that were meant for administration can now go to add on the roads.
The committee observed that some of the existing contracts contain clauses that bind government to a specific implementing agency, notably UNRWA. Any deviation from contractual terms, including transfer of projects to alternative agencies, could trigger severe consequences, such as partial or full suspension of the project. And we put the examples. The committee therefore recommends that while government is rationalizing UNRWA, it should ensure minimal disruption to ongoing projects, conduct thorough contract review to identify restrictive clauses, engage stakeholders, contractors and financiers to renegotiate contracts and develop contingency plans to mitigate potential project suspension or penalties. That the Attorney General pays specific attention to this matter, which may result into litigation and financial loss.
I put a question that the Uganda National Road Authority Repeal Bill 2024 be read for the 3rd time and do pass. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, I beg to move that the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024 be read for the 2nd time. I beg to move. It is therefore imperative that government in its rationalization endeavor brings the road fund, that's why it is not a repeal, it's an amendment, brings the road fund in its entirety into the ministry. It will change the name, it will be a department, the experts will remain, but they will continue to do the work that the road fund has been doing as a conduit for reaching the local governments.
The committee recommends that the proposal for mainstreaming of Uganda Road Fund into the ministry responsible for roads be supported. The committee recommends that the bill be passed into law subject to attached proposed amendments.
I put a question that the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024 be read the 3rd time and do pass. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Act 2024.
Title settled and the bill passed.
So I want to thank you. I want to thank my chair. I want to thank the Attorney General, and I want to thank everybody for staying focused on this. I don't know where the concept of creating agencies came from. And I don't know what was the purpose of creating agencies. It looked like the idea was weakening the central government. Now that government has woken up and has decided to get back its authority, then you are going to charge us to deliver. And it's our responsibility. And we shall deliver.
Also in the sitting, the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority, the Privatisation Unit and the Non-Performing Assets Recovery Trust were sent back to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development under 3 rationalisation amendment bills considered and approved by Parliament.
I beg to move a motion that the bill titled Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Moneylenders Amendment Bill 2024 be read for the 2nd time. I beg to move.
Whereas the authority manages licensing several moneylenders, the Tier 4 microfinance institutions under their mandate, it was not able to fully execute its mandate. For the 8 years the authority has been in operation, it was not adequately resourced to undertake the roles prescribed under the Act. The committee further observed that the increased provision of the financial services like parish development model, SACCOs, PDM, the similar interests across the country, there is a need to increase a robust regulation in the sector. The proposed mainstreaming of UMRA into the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development is expected to make savings for government.
I put a question at the Tier 4 microfinance institutions and Moneylenders Amendment Bill 2024 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
I beg to move a motion that a bill entitled the Public Enterprise Reform and Divestiture Repeal Bill 2021 be read for the second time.
There is therefore need to provide in the bill a commencement date to accommodate the period for the rationalisation period. Recommendation. The committee recommends that the Public Enterprises Reform and Divestiture Amendment Bill 2024 be passed subject to proposed amendments. Thank you.
I put a question that the Public Enterprise Reform and Divestiture Repeal Bill 2024 be read a third time and do pass. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
I beg to move that the bill entitled the Non-Performing Asset Recovery Trust Act Repeal Bill 2024 be read the second time.
The committee recommends that Parliament repeals the Non-Performing Assets Recovery Trust Act Cap 95 subject to proposed amendments and a specific audit, special audit of the trust from its inception. The committee further recommends that the Non-Performing Assets Recovery Trust Tribunal be dissolved with immediate effect and all the pending cases, if any, should be transferred to the Office of the Attorney General to cut on the administrative costs that would arise in line with the rationalisation policy of government.
I put a question. The Non-Performing Assets Recovery Trust Bill 2024 be read for the third time and do pass. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
I want to thank you and honorable colleagues for the resolve, and I want to thank our senior leaders, the Vice President, the Prime Minister, and the Chief Whip for being in the House, and also the Attorney General.
And I adjourn the House and dine.